What's up guys, Readiness Rations here with you again. Today we're going to be checking out a US military ration. This is not your typical MRE though. This is a MIL cold weather. These particular field rations are issued to US troops deployed in extreme cold environments, as the name would suggest. Before we dig into this one, remember to give the video a thumbs up if you like seeing these military ration reviews here on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of my future ration review content, and drop me a comment letting me know what ration you would like to see me review next. Now, we are currently in the blazing middle of summer, but yet I'm about to review a cold weather ration. This video is expedited because for whatever reason, this ration pack has completely opened up all on its own, and I truly have no idea why. All the way around the seam of the peelable seal, it has separated completely down this one side, and it's even starting to separate a little bit on the other side. This was packed by the Warneck Company in Cincinnati, Ohio. Either this ration pack has been severely heat stressed, causing the external package to weaken, or Warneck just didn't do the best job of putting this together in the first place, because they're not supposed to come apart like that. One of my all-time favorite old school MRE menus is chicken tetrazzini, and I really hope that this freeze-dried turkey tetrazzini is along those same lines. Since we don't have to cut into this, let's see what's included here. We have a beverage-based powder tropical punch, a chocolate flavor First Strike nutritious energy bar, a French vanilla cappuccino instant powder, an MRE style spoon, a 1 ounce package of chocolate peanut spread, a vacuum sealed accessory pack, which we'll take a look at in depth in a moment, a pack of vegetable crackers. Vegetable crackers used to be included in a lot of US MREs, but these days you pretty much only find them in the MCWs. Packing date on those crackers was the 123rd day of 2018, by the way. So in terms of MRE shelf life, this thing's still pretty fresh. And the last item in the package is what sets a milled cold weather apart from an MRE, and that is our Mountain House freeze-dried turkey tetrazzini, also packaged in 2018. MCWs do utilize freeze-dried entrees as opposed to wet pack retort pouches like an MRE. If an MRE happens to freeze in the field, it basically turns into a block of ice and you can't really eat it. These freeze-dried MCW mains don't suffer from that problem because they do not contain any water. You actually have to add water to it to rehydrate. Now let's see what's in this accessory package. We have a Bill's Brew instant coffee, 4-gram package of non-dairy creamer, Lighthouse toilet paper, a 10-pack of matches with white tips, 4 grams of sugar, peppermint chewing gum, a latex-free moist towelette, and lastly, 4 grams of hot sauce. I attest that hot sauce should be included in every single menu. I'm happy it's in this one. Now that is a very respectable spread of food. Let's get it plated up. Since our entree does need to rehydrate, we'll start out with that. These freeze-dried packages come tightly vacuum packed. I can hear air rushing in there. And there's our first look at our tetrazzini. You can see some nice turkey chunks on top there. Let's get one of these. Feels very light and styrofoamy. Let's try that out. Delightfully crunchy, salty, savory. That's a really nice little treat, just eating dry like this. I believe this is a little piece of an asparagus stalk. I'm gonna try that one dry too. Oh yeah, powerful asparagus flavor, super fresh tasting, and really awesome, just eating dry straight out of the pack. Directions on this pouch call for 16 ounces of hot water and 10 minutes to rehydrate. I've had quite a few MCW mains in the past, and in my experience, they call for a little bit too much water. If it's asking for 16 ounces, you should probably put between 12 and 14. If you go for a full 16, these tend to turn into soup. I have about 13 ounces of screaming hot water measured out here. We'll add this in 2 stages. Now that we have the first bit in, we'll give it a little stir. Instantly, it is absorbing that water and becoming very stew-like, and we'll add our other half. What I also like to do, fold these pouches over so nothing escapes, and giving it a little shake just to make sure everything gets in contact with some of that water. All right, now that we have that mixed, we'll give it its 10 minutes. In the meantime, we'll dig into some of this other stuff. We have a generous 3 drinks in this menu, so I suppose I will do at least one of them hot. Let's take a look at our Bill's Brew here. I had this same coffee very recently in an ex-MRE ration review. Those ex-MREs are commercially available civilian rations. I'll link that video right here if you want to see it. This Bill's Brew is pretty dark in color. This non-dairy creamer looks perfectly white and fresh. And we'll sweeten that up with our sugar. This was probably in the neighborhood of 5 ounces or so. That completely dissolved almost instantly. This French vanilla cappuccino could also be prepared hot, but given that it's like 100 degrees outside today, I think I'm gonna do this one cold. So that calls for 6 ounces of hot or cold water. That smells sweet and pretty tasty with a little bit of library book smell going on. Now that we've added our water, we will zip the top, give it a couple folds, and a vigorous shaking. It's very light and creamy in color. It has a little bit of a foamy head. I think I'll go ahead and give this one a try. That is very sweet. The coffee flavor is very light and pleasant. It has an awesome creaminess. As I said, substantial sweetness. This is a delicious MRE drink. I'm sure it would be equally good, if not better hot, but it is just perfect cold. Even if you're not a coffee drinker, you'll probably still like this. It is not overbearingly coffee tasting, and that little bit of vanilla really ties everything together. One sip left there. That was a great way to start the ration. And I suppose we will get our tropical punch beverage going as well. This has a very vibrant aroma. As soon as I crack the lid, you can smell that pungent fake fruitiness. 12 ounces of water to this one. And that got us mostly full to the top. This one's so full it's hard to shake. I did my best to mix this up in the bag, but it was wanting to leak a little bit. These bags are designed to be able to drink straight out of them if you're in the field. That's why they have sort of this hourglass shape. For the purposes of a review though, I do like pouring it into a glass. Look at that sort of scummy debris on the top. The fruit punch never completely dissolves. We'll open up our chocolate flavor first strike bar here. It's a little bit squished, kind of shiny, appears to maybe have melted a little bit in the past. And we'll take a look at our vegetable crackers. Strong vacuum on those. Ooh, they are kind of crumbly. Yeah, those are pretty well cracked all over the corners. Aside from the corners being a little bit crumbly, they're still mostly whole. These have a very enticing, toasted bread-like smell to them. Since I did have so many crumbs, go ahead and try those vegetable crackers out. Perfectly crisp, toasty. They dry the mouth out a good deal. I like the vegetable undertones of these. They're a little bit oniony. You can taste maybe a little bit of bell pepper in these, just in the background, ever so slightly. This chocolate peanut spread felt pretty hard until I started kneading. Now it's softening up a little bit. I've only had this MRE item a couple times in the past, and in every instance it has been a treat. It might be a little weird having chocolate on vegetable crackers, but heck, this spread is so good you can just eat it straight out of the tube. Light milk chocolate color, very creamy and smooth. Let's see if that's as good as I remember it. Wow, that is so smooth and creamy. A lot sweeter than your standard peanut butter. Of course, it has a nice sort of milk chocolate cocoa flavor up front, but in the background, it has that very distinct blended roasted peanutty flavor of peanut butter. As I said, vegetable crackers and chocolate peanut spread, sort of an odd combo, but that's what they included, so that's what we're gonna try. Cheers. If you can't taste the vegetable at all, the chocolate peanut butter is such a strong flavor, it overshadows all that. You do get the toastiness and the crunch of the cracker though, and so these crackers are still the perfect plane for enjoying a little bit of your peanut spread. I think we'll wash that down with some of our Bill's Brew coffee. This is our hot coffee, of course. Pretty good. Not nearly as good as that cappuccino. This has a far more standard coffee taste. Bill's Brew is pretty mild. It's not particularly bitter, but there is a little bit of bitterness there. No acidity really. With the cream and the sugar, we end up with a nice drinkable cup of ration coffee. I think the pro move in this ration would have probably been to just mix this Bill's Brew into the French vanilla and have it all as one coffee-y drink. But standalone, Bill's Brew, it's not bad. Well, I think we have given our main more than 10 minutes here. It looks very thick and gelled, and it's still nice and warm. Oh yeah, that is a huge portion. These Mill Cold Weathers always have gigantic portions of food. Your standard MRE main entree is only 8 ounces. The unhydrated weight of this package was 4.1 ounces, and you were supposed to add 16 ounces of water, making this main entree more than 20 ounces if prepared as directed. That makes for a huge portion of food. I do think my 13 ounces was absolutely perfect in terms of the amount of water that this needed. It is not soup, but it is still plenty moist, a very thick stew consistency. It's a little bit jiggly, so I suspect this probably has something along the lines of cornstarch or some other thickening agent to really make it so substantially thick and jiggly. In the mix there, we can see our turkey chunks. They're all pretty small. We have some carrot pieces. pieces of asparagus. And there are lots and lots of tiny cut little noodles. They come small like that, so they are easy to eat with a spoon. The aroma coming off of this is very reminiscent of like a chicken stock. It doesn't smell super heavily seasoned. There is most certainly detectable onion aroma to it. This does not smell like the old school MRE menu chicken tetrazzini, but I'm still holding out hope that it will be quite tasty. It looks pretty simple, but decent. MCW turkey tetrazzini. That's very creamy. The turkey still has just a little bit of chew to it. This has a mushroom taste, so I suppose there are mushrooms in there as well. In flavor, it's very reminiscent of a cream of mushroom soup. The pasta's rehydrated well, nice and soft. Let's try out this green thing here. That was an asparagus stalk, a little bit woody, and we'll try to isolate a piece of turkey by itself. The turkey is not completely rehydrated. It was good dry though, and it's fine in its half rehydrated form. Without a doubt, that's a mushroom right on top. The sauce is so creamy and hearty. This is a very savory dish. There's no sweetness to it whatsoever. It's pretty good, but it's not blowing me away. I'm sure you would love this if you're in the frozen Arctic and you get it piping hot out of that pack. The texture is pretty mundane, so I think integrating a little bit of vegetable cracker, probably the way to go with this one. The crunchiness livens everything up. Those actually go really nice together. The hot sauce is probably going to be the linchpin though. Looks like a very basic Louisiana style pepper sauce. And that's what it is. Tastes very similar to like a Louisiana sauce. A little bit like Tabasco, but instead of Tabasco peppers, this is using cayenne peppers. The heat level is nothing crazy, but is there, and that little extra vinegar kick is exactly what this ration is screaming for. So let's sauce this guy up. Give it a little mix, and now a taste with our hot sauce. Much nicer. They probably should just integrated that into the original recipe. This main is pretty good, but it lacks in flavor a little bit. I think if they would have put some red pepper flake or cayenne or something like that in the original mix, it would provide much more of a flavor punch. That extra little vinegar is really nice. Top that bite with a cracker, and that's the ticket. Wash that down with some of our fruit punch beverage-based powdered drink. Tangy, sweet, taste of fruit created in a laboratory, strikingly unnaturally red. The MRE fruit punch is weird in every way, but I actually quite like it. Last item here to try out is our First Strike bar. If you eat these in the cold weather, they are super hard to bite into. The smell of this is chocolatey, but almost like a Tootsie Roll, sort of a fake chocolate kind of smell. We can see the little bits of puffed rice there. Let's take a bite. Still pretty chewy, even being a little bit warm. Puffed rice adds a little bit of crunch. The chocolatey flavor is decent, but without a doubt, a lower quality chocolate. These First Strike bars are nothing to write home about, but they do provide a substantial amount of energy in a pretty easily ingestible form, and that's why they include them in military rations. And that was our milled cold weather menu number 4. Turkey tetrazzini. I've been waiting a very long time to try this menu, and although it didn't quite live up to the expectations that I had going into it, it still turned out to be a pretty darn good meal. It is hard to go wrong with the U.S. milled cold weather. They are the best ration currently produced for the U.S. military. Still don't know why the bag on this one fell apart, but everything on the inside is still 100% fresh, so no complaints from me. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. That helps us out with the Google algorithm. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of my future ration review content. If you know someone else that might enjoy the video, please share it because that helps the channel grow more than anything else. And don't forget to drop me a comment, letting me know what you thought about the video. I will catch you guys in the next video. See you then. Peace.